Side Hustle Show 114, building a blog from the ground up, even in a competitive space.
Welcome to the Side Hustle Show, where aspiring part-time entrepreneurs learn how to turn their side hustle dreams into reality. Because your 9 to 5 may make you a living, but your 5 to 9 makes you alive. And now, your host, Nick Loper.
Hey everybody, Nick Loper here. Welcome to the Side Hustle Show. This is episode 114, building a blog from the ground up, even in a competitive space. Today you're going to hear how my friend Melinda Fleming has built her fashion blog, curatedcool.com, up from literally nothing in early 2013 into a business that now supports her lifestyle. We're going to get into her content strategies, her monetization methods, and how she's attracted tens of thousands of followers on social media in a short time and in what I consider a crowded space, the fashion industry. So I first met Melinda at Affiliate Summit in January of 2013 in Las Vegas, and she was as green could be. She had done nothing online. She had no online presence, no online following. She didn't have a website at that time, and we'll go into a little bit about how she got that built. But she was asking about outsourcing and hiring virtual assistants, and we were kind of like, well, let's slow down here. Let's see, what do you want to build? What's the vision for this thing? And since then, so Melinda had been working in the entertainment industry. She's also been a freelance writer, freelance voiceover talent. But as the economic bubble kind of burst in Hollywood, had a hard time getting work, or especially had a hard time getting work at the rates that she was accustomed to. So she poured every spare moment into this blog project, and her work has really paid off, and built it into a pretty sought after brand at this point. So all the notes and highlights, plus Melinda's top tips from this episode, are available to you in a free downloadable PDF at sidehustlenation.com/114, or through the link in the episode description of your podcast player app. But let's get Melinda on the line and hear what Curated Cool is all about.
Curated Cool is a fashion and travel / lifestyle blog. I focus on daily fashion ideas or what to wear. A lot of people have this problem. They don't know how to style an outfit. And as I got more into that world, I didn't realize the problems that women were having. So that kind of hit that on the head. And then, I built a site based on what were my passions and what I love to do. And originally it started, I would find these really unique and chic products that were very, wow, where did you get that type thing? And then I was advised to do fashion, and so I did. And then I do the travel because that's what I love to do. It's a big passion of mine.
You kind of notice that people are coming up to you and asking about your unique style. And so is that a light bulb thing? Oh, maybe I should put this online, or maybe there's something to this that might be a little bit bigger?
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it happened. So I was working in the entertainment industry, and I was looking to do something else. And so I knew I had set up the world that I envisioned for myself. I wanted to work from a laptop. I wanted to work anywhere in the world. So if I wanted to go to Italy for 2 months, I could. Then I kind of went backwards, and then I figured out, well, what am I going to do now that I have this world with my laptop, the laptop lifestyle, if you will.
Okay.
Right? And then I realized it kind of just hit me one day. I had one of those aha moments, and it was what people had always been saying to me, which was, where did you get that? I love your vase. I love your decor piece. I love your outfit. I love your dress. I love your this. I mean, 3 times a week, people would say this to me. And so it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. What I would do had already been reverse engineered and had been, in a way, proven. People were commenting on my taste and my style. And so as soon as I had that idea, I just went for it.
You can tell from Melinda's accent that she's very chic and high fashion.
You don't know. Voices can be deceiving.
That's the impression that I get. It's very precise. I love it.
Okay.
So the site is 2 years old.
Yes.
How the idea of building a business around your passion is in some ways, I think it can be dangerous because what if there's no money there? What if it's too crowded? What if it's too hard to stand out? So let's kind of go back in time to the early days of the website of the curatedcool.com site to see what, were there any specific turning points or kind of what did your content strategy look at the beginning? I mean, there's a ton of different ways we can go with this.
I mean, I think that's a great question and you nailed it on the head there. It is very dangerous to follow a path of passion. And so I was already doing what I was doing. It wasn't something like cooking can be a passion and home decorating can be a passion. I was just picking and choosing things for my life. So it wasn't like it was a hobby or a passion. But I agree with you. When people say follow your passion, that can be really, really dangerous. The antithesis of Created Cool took a turn, but the whole big picture, the whole world stayed the same. It was always about finding unique and chic items. So the decor pieces are unique. It's the big picture is when somebody can say to you, oh my God, where did you get that? That is such a confidence builder. Somebody comes to your home, says that about the watch you're wearing or the sunglasses. And it's about standing out from the masses. It's not trying to look like everybody else. Sure, I do focus sometimes on things that are trending, but really and truly I don't. I do what's trending to me. And that to me has been my authenticity, my strategy, and it's what's worked for me so far. So why change it?
Why change it?
Yeah.
So how often are you posting or how often were you posting at the beginning?
The beginning I was doing 5 products a day, Monday.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was doing 5 products a day, Monday through Friday. I was even trying to do it 7 days a week. And on the weekends I was doing a collection, like I would pick a color or a theme, like summer sandals or awesome chic items in black, stuff like that. So I did that on the weekend. So I was pumping out a lot of content in the very beginning, not knowing what I was doing, still learning as I was going along. But I really did just jump in with 2 feet. And I learned as I went. And then by the advice of somebody, they said to me after 6 months, not even 6 months, they said to me, you really need to be in your site, photos of you. And so I took a picture on social media of me wearing this vintage outfit and I got a lot of response. And I thought maybe that was a fluke or something, right? So I took another picture and again, so much engagement. And that's when I just went, boom, done. I mean, I'm a quick decision maker in that regard. It's like, boom, moving on. Now I'm doing fashion and I still do the product review. So now I post twice a day because there's so much more work involved in putting the outfits together and shooting that. I mean, it's fashion blogs turn into magazines now. I'm a magazine editor in a way. So I might not be pumping out 5 items a day, 5 posts a day, but it doesn't matter. The quality has changed in a way and it's just richer, deeper content. But the goal is to move to 3 posts a day. That's
still a ton of content. Primarily photo driven? Or are you like writing, a story about each thing too?
Yes. So with the fashion, sometimes I tell a story. Sometimes it's a how-to. With the product, that's a lot less content, maybe 100 words. And I'm just giving you a quick reason why you need this in your life. And all of the, it's the products that I find, the individual products, they're I call it the cool find of the day. Like, you could wear these Stan Smith sneakers that everybody else is wearing, or you could wear these kick-ass Pierre Hardy sneakers, and really stand out and be that hipster badass. That's kind of, and so that writing for me comes so easy because it's so freeing in a way. I get to have fun with it. When I think of like today's post was a how to wear a bodycon dress, that's more serious, but that content is, 500 words plus sometimes. And then you have up to 7 images.
Okay. Do you feel like that putting out that volume of content right from the get-go kind of helped people discover you, or it was more like the practice of kind of accelerating your own blog learning?
Well, both. I was advised that you got to pump out as much content in the beginning. And when I look now, even at my analytics, the most I mean, more traffic gets driven to my site due to the single products, not necessarily due to keyword search, not necessarily through the fashion stuff. So that's why, as a strategic move, that's why I'm still doing the daily products.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask next. If, people are discovering the site primarily through Google search, primarily through social media, what's been your most effective traffic drivers?
50. Right now it's 50-50. And, I was actually very late, believe it or not. I was very late to the Pinterest game. Oh, no, Pinterest, sorry. Instagram game. When I started, what was I going to do? Put products on there? No, that's boring. And I had it set to private. I didn't even know I had it set to private. So nobody was finding me for the first year.
So I'm on your Instagram page. If you guys want to follow along, it's Curated Cool is her username. And you're up to 23,000 followers. Do you, which is awesome. I think I have like 200. Do you have a professional photographer follow you around? Because you're in a lot of the pictures.
Yeah. So the outfit of the day posts, that's with a professional photographer. And then everything else is shot on my iPhone. I also do what's called a flat lay. That's when you'll see products like a hat and sunglasses, or people will do an outfit as a flat lay, like jeans and a sweater and a pair of heels, and they'll just take a picture of that. And I do sometimes I do like body selfies because people want to know what am I wearing right there and then in that moment. And my arm is so short, so you don't see my face, which is good because I don't think you should see your face that many times on Instagram. And I get so much engagement, especially on the body ones of this is what I'm wearing right now. It's crazy what people respond to.
Were there any specific actions you took to grow that following? As it seems like that had to have been a concerted effort.
Oh, absolutely. Because in my business, Instagram, it's where it's at. You're told by certain brands, well, we need you to be at XYZ followers, stuff like that, which, that gets to be a dangerous game. But yeah, so I did a strategic, it's only strategic when it works, isn't it? So I tried to think I was doing something strategic. I followed a lot of people. I commented, liked, and I do it on a daily basis. I don't have anybody doing it for me. I do it my personal self. I don't have a VA do it or anything. And just because it's more authentic. And that really, that's how you create those raving fans, those people that will always come back to you and always like every single picture and comment. I have some people I'm assuming they're from South America, but they call me Linda. And I've always said to them, no, it's Melinda. And they go, congratulations, Linda. The look looks great.
Well, Melinda or Linda is beautiful in Spanish. So maybe they're complimenting.
Oh, okay. See, I'm learning from Mr. Loper. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So comment, no shortcuts, just finding similar accounts to comment on
Absolutely.
Is it like the hashtag thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Hashtagging does work. And the tip is not to do the hashtag in that original, when you post a picture and you put, hey, oh my God, I'm stuffed from eating too much pizza. That's in the caption, and then press enter. And then if you're going to do the hashtag, you do that in the comment. So comment yourself on your own photo. And it does work. It does help draw people. Recognizing brands. I always tag all the brands that I'm in. And then if I've done good work or they like what I did, they'll feature me on their Instagram page, and so I'll get followers that way. Stuff like that.
Okay. Why not? So is it just to show some engagement on your post right away? Somebody's already commented, even if it's just yourself?
Because it doesn't look pretty. Because you'll see these people that will say photo. They'll have 20 hashtags. So that appears in their caption comment. And so it just is not aesthetically pretty to have that.
Okay. Interesting. And you still can't link to your site from the post. You've got to link from your profile. And so you got to somehow draw people back to your profile if you really have something that you want people to come check out on the site.
Correct. You'd think Facebook would have it figured out by now, but no.
Yeah. One thing I saw a friend of mine do, actually, Joshua Jordison from the LinkedIn episode a few months ago, what he did is he'll take these 3 picture panoramas And so he'll mention in his comment or in his caption, like, this is the third picture of a panorama. Check my profile to see the whole thing. And then if you open it up, it'll show all three side by side, which I believe is just an excuse to get somebody to click on your profile so you can see whatever link there is.
No, that's a great strategy. That's something I just learned. That's awesome.
I thought it was kind of smart. I don't know. Again, my 200 followers. So you've invested a ton of time, a ton of money, a ton of effort into this site, just in terms of the education, in terms of the professional photography. Let's talk about the revenue side. How's the site earn money?
So believe it or not, my very first month, I generated income. It was $11.
Okay, $11. Where did it come from?
Affiliate links.
Nice.
But I mean, when you're pumping out five product posts a day, 7 days a week, that helped with that. And I tell you, I had no idea what I was doing. So what I would do is I would put two keywords together and I was just hope for the best. And I actually think that, I don't know if that works or not, but I would find two keywords, like a designer's name and then like ice cube tray, and then put the two words together as my keyword. And that, I don't know if that worked or not, but I got a lot of traffic.
Well, I'd say it worked if you got your traffic.
Yeah, right. And then so it just built. And so now that I have more followers, especially on social, but even when I didn't have a lot of social followers, people reached out to me because they always loved the aesthetic of the site, and that's been paramount to me, making it always be beautiful and look beautiful, and it feels beautiful and nice and calm and relaxing when you go to the site.
Well, tell me about that for a second. Was that custom coded, or was this a special theme that you bought?
No, very, very simple actually. Like I also had a very distinct vision for the site. I knew what I wanted it to be and what I didn't want it to be. So I got a wonderful graphic design, a web developer. I didn't even know the proper word, web developer or web designer. Joseph Bass. He's in Atlanta. He's awesome. And so what we did, we worked so well together. We got a WordPress theme, one of those custom themes that you pay like $70 for. We got that. So we picked something, because I had a budget of $1,000. And so we picked something that was very similar to what I wanted. And then we customized that.
Okay.
So that saved a lot of time, a lot of money.
Okay, so we got the affiliate angle going on. What else is ringing the cash register for you?
People will pay me to write about their company or their brand or their product on my site. I've also been approached, and I've done this, where companies have reached out to me and have asked me to write for their site and have paid me. I get paid for Instagram posts where a brand will either gift me or not gift me. Maybe it's just a borrow and I return it. But this is where it gets really tricky when people start throwing money at you. I'm a big stickler on don't take it for the money. Do it because you would actually truly do this. Does that make sense?
It does. Tell me about the sponsored posts. How does that work?
So there's two types of sponsored posts. There's one where they actually send me the product and I'll shoot it or wear it or something like that. Okay. And I have my first decor piece that I got sent to do a sponsored post that hasn't gone live yet, which I'm super excited about. That's something I want to get more into. It has to be my voice. It has to be, and I think for them, they just want a backlink.
What's the going rate for a sponsored post? I guess it depends on traffic, yes?
It all depends on traffic. And, now, I mean, Instagram is such a new, it's such a new, I wouldn't even know, marketing world now. There are people that don't even have a blog. They have an Instagram account and they're being paid. So that's what's called microblogging. It's fascinating. It really depends on your traffic, and it also depends on the brand. And they won't necessarily offer the money up front. You have to ask for it. And you have to, I've kind of learned, I've really busted my ass and I've worked very hard and I'm very proud of my figures. Well, thank you. And I'm very proud of my figures and my stats. And so it's gotten to a point where, this is my rate. It either works for you or it doesn't. And it's not for every post. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, again, is gifted. And if I like the product, then I don't worry about asking for a fee. And again, everybody's got different budgets, so it's a play by play basis. But I think it will get streamed out eventually because it needs to. I spend so much time emailing back and forth, negotiating. It's not fun.
Yeah, have you tried any of these like third-party sites like Triber or like IZEA to try and take some of that pain? Triber is they haven't had a lot of stuff lately, or I haven't been on lately, but kind of these marketplaces that aim to connect bloggers with sponsors for these types of posts?
No, I mean, I've not. I know of Triber. I don't go to those sites. There is a company called Glam Media, which is now mode.com, and they do that type of thing. So, which is wonderful. So they're the intermediate person that deals with the brands. They deal with the bloggers. They set an author rate for you. So I don't even have to negotiate anything.
Okay. So they look at your traffic and say, hey, if sponsors want to post on Melinda's site, it's going to be $100, $200. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. XYZ. So so it's an authored rate. And you know what? That authored rate was slightly more than what I was charging.
Okay.
Then I was like, I'm going to up mine to match that. But
well, that's good. That's one of those things too. Like as traffic continues to grow, you can continue to increase it. And if you're posting 3 times a day, there's plenty of opportunity to throw in those sponsored posts every now and again.
Absolutely.
What do you think is next? Like, are you going to create your own products? Are you going to build like your own curated, cool Melinda Fleming brand?
It's so funny. My whole house of cards that I'm building for myself really hasn't changed from day one. I'm working right now. I'm doing research and development on my first product. So that would be wonderful if that does well. And it's also a product that I'd sell through the site, and I'd also sell. I could actually go to stores and be certain boutique stores. And it's a product that's not readily available on the market. Again. So another thing about my site when I was picking products to review, it was all about what could you not make yourself. Now that was a big factor, and that was very strategic because you get a lot of, which is okay, but my website isn't Pinterest. You can come there for inspiration, and that's wonderful. There are people that go to Pinterest and go, oh, this amazing home decor piece from IKEA. I could make it myself for $10, So the products that I was picking were all products that you physically couldn't make yourself. Physically, you couldn't do it unless you were, a steelsmith or a blacksmith or something like that. So the same is with my first product. It's not a product you could make yourself. And that hopefully will be a strategic good thing. I'll soon find out. And then I'm looking at some point to do my own, whether it's quarterly or monthly subscription boxes. And that would be actually, that idea has stemmed from my travels, by curating a box of stuff from, because I travel a lot, as you know, of finding these really unique and chic items from around the world.
Oh my gosh, the curated cool subscription box. I can see it now, dude. This could be big.
Are you serious?
Well, I love this subscription model. It's like Trunk Club and Birchbox. And now like my buddy started one for like coffee brewers in Seattle and stuff. He send you, 4 different samples of coffee beans every month. Like these things are popping up every which way.
Yeah.
This would be a really interesting way to go.
These are products that you wouldn't find in the US, which also, again, you can't then jerry-rig it yourself. And it's great for people that haven't been around the world. I do say that a lot on my site in my content is travel. And I know not everybody can afford to do it, but even if it's traveling your own country or your own backyard, and I have this saying, we are always our own last tourists. So I live in Los Angeles right now, and there's so many things I haven't done here that I want to do that's on my LA bucket list,
Everyone else can live vicariously through your social media feeds.
Oh, thank you.
and through your new subscription box. I think that's an interesting way to go for sure.
Well, thank you. I like your vote of confidence.
Well, you've built up this brand, you built up this following, and that would be one way for people to like have more engagement with you. Just to circle back on the sponsored posts really quick, if you're a blogger and you're thinking about accepting sponsored posts, you might as well aim high. I was really surprised at the rates that some companies were willing to pay to get a post on Side Hustle Nation, to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, this is the most that this is the most I've ever been paid to write like anything in my life. And so it was like, okay, I'm happy to put together a 1,000-word article for you on topic XYZ. Like, that's fine. And so are you reaching out to companies specifically saying, hey, I'd love to feature you on the site. My rate is X?
At the moment, they reach out to me. This has just come down to a time thing, because I don't have a virtual assistant. I do everything myself, which I am working on getting a virtual assistant, because
yes.
I'm at that point where, the workload is too much. No, the brands reach out to me, although maybe 2 weeks ago I reached out to 10 brands and had good response.
You ever thought about doing a YouTube channel?
Yes, that just takes time. I mean, that's already there. It's already waiting to go.
I know. Just one more thing. It seems like you'd be perfect for it, right? Like your on-camera personality and the accent and the visual nature of the business is just another. I know it's just another thing to work on, but it seems like it would be an interesting channel to explore.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's right around the corner once I get a grasp on everything else, because it takes a lot of time, like doing the fashion looks. First, you've got to get the clothes, then you've got to style each outfit, and then you've got to figure out what's the story.
Let's circle back to the laptop lifestyle from the beginning of the call, and it looks like you're living it, at least vicariously from my vantage point. It looks like you're living it. You don't have to share exact numbers, but like, is this where you thought you would be, like, 2 years into this project, which in the lifespan of a blog is not a long time?
Yes and no. I couldn't even see anything. All I knew was that build the house, work, and it'll come. The field of dreams, build it and it'll come. Traveling, so I'm still traveling. I still fly over 100,000 miles a year. Everybody says to me, why do you travel so much? And it's so many reasons why. One is bucket listing. Two, it is to just, if I just do fashion on my website, I'm a one-trick pony. And me personally, I am more than a one-trick pony. So it's another way to bring people into the site. That's why there's the cool find of the day. There's another reason to pull people into the site, so there's 3 or 4 different ways. Also, I do fashion shoots at these exotic locations, and that's awesome. That's great for me, and that builds my authority and brand in that regard. And I'm not trying to be a travel hacker or a travel on a shoestring budget. I'm all about where are those unique and chic places that you don't know about, that you're not going to find in a guidebook. So I kind of go to these places and I do that legwork. I'm all about, don't do what everybody else is doing. Do you. That's how you become a trend. That's how you stand out. And the underlying story is it gives you confidence.
Well, business must be doing okay if you're flying 100,000 miles a year, you're flying all over the place, living the jet set lifestyle. Pretty exciting to see. Belinda, thank you so much for joining me. I think this is a really interesting one, because it is kind of like we said, a very crowded space. So much talk about the demise of blogging, but you've propped up the site with some really powerful social media presence. And I just want to wrap it up with your number one tip for Side Hustle Nation.
Oh, well, first, thank you for having me, Nick.
You bet.
And B, I'm a big fan of Side Hustle Nation. And my number one biggest tip, I would say, is that whatever you're good at right now, what people say to you, wow, you're a great mathematician, or wow, you have a way in the garden, like, oh my God, how do you do that? When people constantly say to you, how do you do that? Or wow, you're so good at, I would actually really look at that, put a lamp on that and go, is that something I could do? Because the answer is already crowdsourced and reverse engineered of a yes that I've found. So I would definitely look at that. If you're looking at a side hustle, what are you doing right now that you're really good at and people tell you you're good at without you having to ask them.
Fair enough. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everyone, curatedcool.com. Melinda, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
There it is. Find what you're already good at and figure out how to get that skill or talent in front of as many people as you can and hustle like crazy to make it happen, just like Melinda. Well, a couple notes before I sign off. After the recording stopped, Melinda mentioned that she's really found a lot of traction in Google Plus communities with a really high engagement rate. So she's specifically seeking out Google Plus communities in the fashion and travel niches and becoming a part of those groups, posting her content, commenting on other people's. She says, hey, I'm finding a really high engagement rate, good click-through rate, good traffic generator back to the site. That's a tactic I have done zero with. I know nothing about Google Plus communities, so that might be something worth checking out for your niche. And a couple notes on the sponsored post things that we were talking about. To keep in mind that big brands have big budgets. And I would first kind of realize this. So my first sponsored post I ever did was from UPS, like the shipping company. And they approached me and they said, we'd like to do a sponsored post. The rate is $400. And I was like, $400 to write a blog post? Where do I sign? So, and had they asked me for my going rate, I probably would have, I don't know, $100, but just because, so that's why I said, when I said aim high, that's what I mean. Like, think of big brands, deep pockets, like they probably have the budget for that and might be able to make that happen. And worst case, and this has happened a couple of times too, aim high and then you can negotiate from there. You may end up at 300, you may end up at 200, whatever it ends up being, still better off than zero at all. And then on the technical side, make sure to follow your outbound links to that company in the post, because this is, and most people who are sponsoring posts are going to understand this, because that's for Google, for SEO, like they don't want paid links to be influencing their search algorithm, right? And so this is a signal to say, hey, this was a paid link. And on top of your disclosure that says, hey, this was a sponsored post, I'll put a link to that in the show notes, like the official Google Webmaster answers on how to get that done. Pretty simple tag to add to your links if you end up going the sponsored post route. So that'll be in the show notes at sidehustlenation.com/114. And while you're there, be sure to grab the free PDF download with all the highlights from this show, plus Melinda's top blog and brand building tips. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, let's go out there, make something happen, and I'll see you next week for another exciting edition of The Side Hustle Show. Hustle on.
Thanks for listening to The Side Hustle Show at www.sidehustlenation.com.